See, Gaurav, to be very frank, till the year when I completed my graduation, I didn't have enough idea what exactly IAS is about or what exactly civil service is about. So, but my father was in a government job. He retired as an additional chief engineer in the public health engineering department. So, the maximum we knew was that IAS is collector. That collector is IAS basically. So, and we didn't have much idea about who the secretary is or who the principal secretary is or who the HOD of various department is, and many of these positions are being headed by an IAS officer. And what is the role of an IAS in policy framing at the state level or at the central level? So maximum I knew was like the district collector is an IAS officer. But the journey started like, as I've mentioned that my grandfather used to operate a kind of workshop, like motor bodybuilding workshop. There is a big open land at the residence in the old part of Jaipur city. So, and my father is an engineer. My father's younger brother, that is my chacha, he is also an engineer. And when I did my 12th, my two elder brothers were also doing their engineering. So they are also civil engineers. Apart from that, the time I spent at my home, like handling the tools and looking at how the work is happening. So I was more inclined towards engineering during my school days. That was my whole idea, that I should get into doing engineering, and because it appeared that it gives you a kind of insight of like thinking about the problems or imagining things happening and then how to build or create something. Or so it gave a kind of higher level of intellectual satisfaction. So that one thing was clear, that I'll become an engineer. But subsequently when I joined IIT, so my father basically, he then, when I was in second year or something, like at the end of the second year, when I was entering third year, so one day he told me that, so you should think about civil services. So as I have told that I was completely unaware that what exactly civil services is. So then I asked, what is civil services? Because there is a tradition in IIT that most of the graduates during those days, because during those days the opportunities were not so good as they are now in our country. So most of the graduates went to United States either for higher studies or for taking up job in the corporate sector. So I asked what civil services is. Then he said that basically civil service is the service where the people run the government along with the public representatives. So I was totally, in a way, ignorant about how the government functions when I was entering into the third year of IIT. So I tried to dig a little deeper. I discussed with my colleagues and my batchmates, and as you know, in IIT there are a lot of people come from different states. So like people from Bihar and UP, they had fairly good idea about what exactly IAS is. So I spent some time, like around 5 to 6 months, in understanding what exactly this is. And then my father was slightly insistent that we should try this and you can make into it. Though it is a very tough exam, but considering my performance in the school and the first 2 years in the IIT, so the things happened like that. So when I got into my final year, so by then I had a fairly good idea that what exactly civil services are or the Indian Administrative Service is. So, but even till then I was in a double mind that whether I should go abroad or whether I should take these exams. So I don't know, it was a coincidence or what exactly happened was that in the final year, when we were appearing for our campus interviews, so as my father was in a government job during those days, so SAIL had come to pick up engineers from Steel Authority of India Limited. SAIL had come to pick up engineering graduates. So SAIL had a good profile in those days. It was a kind of very big public sector undertaking, and to get a job into Steel Authority of India Limited, we used to consider it as a very good opportunity. So I went for the interviews. So SAIL took me. So I was very happy to receive the offer. So, but even then there was a dilemma that abroad or to work in India. So finally I decided that let us join SAIL. So I was happy, and after final year I came back to Jaipur to have a vacation of another 15-20 days. But then what happens is that, so I turned down a proposal of going abroad. I had received a proposal of job in United States. So I turned down that proposal because my mind was clear that I will join SAIL. So but after 10-15 days I received a letter from Steel Authority that, oh, we are sorry, though we took you as an intern trainee and we offered you a offer letter, but you are under 21 years. So we being a public sector undertaking, there are government rules that you have to be 21 plus years if you have to join a government job. So you will have to wait for another 8 months. So then I thought that if there is a period of another 8 months, let us then try for civil services. So everything happened like that. So I sat at home, I didn't go to Delhi, and I started preparing for civil services, and I got into IPS in my first attempt. So then it appeared that you can make it. Then I appeared for the second attempt, and then I got home card. So I belong to Rajasthan and I got Rajasthan card itself. So this is how the journey goes. But in the hindsight, it is that it was a very, perhaps God created that kind of scenario of the circumstances that I appeared for civil services, and I am really happy today that I have been able to contribute and do my best in the services, and it had been an excellent choice, both as a profession, and it gives you a lot of opportunity to go ahead and deliver and contribute to the community.